Hey, it's Joel Walsman. We're here inspecting a bunch of big electrical equipment, and this is not the biggest of it. We're gonna do a total breakdown of what we find, some code violations detection, and let me tell you what, there are a few. Join us. Here we go. So this is Ethan. He's a part of the Jefferson Electric team, and it's his first day on the job. You can tell because all of his Klein tools are free of dust, debris, scuffs, scratches. But man, they're beautiful. And as they say, if it ain't Klein, it ain't mine. Ethan, what we're gonna do here is we're ripping through this entire strip center up into the office buildings, and we're opening up all the electrical equipment and doing a visual inspection as well as a thermal scan. Perfect. We're going to make recommendations to the ownership on what needs to be upgraded and replaced. We'll produce a full report and identify the expected useful life that remains in this equipment, so they've got budgets and they can forecast effectively. Today, it's a paid inspection that hopefully will roll up into additional work at a later time. See, a lot of contractors out there are jumping through hoops constantly for free under the speculation that they're going to land some work. I don't think that's an effective business model. There's a time and place for that, but actually what we're doing here is the application of our trade skill onto a useful finished product for the customer. And so yeah, we're not pulling pipe or wire, running pipe or wire, but it's still a paid service in my book. And the customer thought the same thing. So let's pop these covers open and see what we see. And we're going to take you through a host of electrical equipment today. I want your opinion down in the comments. Timestamp your comments so I know what you're referring to, and let's have a meaningful dialogue. I believe that iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. Let's keep our covers straight. Last thing we want to do is swap these. So you're responsible to track that. I'll track this.
All right.
Let's pop this off, which is probably 2-4. Time to use caution, but we do want to get a good look at the bus. Man, has anybody ever been shocked on their first day on the job? Think back to your first day. I think of the master electrician who trained me. His first day on the job was probably 1964. And he had the boss's screwdriver in his hand. He's working on a parking garage. There was a 4-inch conduit that went down into under slab, and he had the screwdriver, dropped it right down into that conduit. And the boss, real level-headed, even tone, looked at him and said, "You can bring me a new one on your way into work tomorrow. Don't worry about it." Don't let it fret you, but you are paying for it. But, that's just establishing expectations, which I think that was a fair expectation. Full of dust, open knockout closer, open knockouts down here in the bottom left. Whoop, 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 whoop. Lots of dust. Copper conductors, things are probably loose. One of the things that they did not want to do today was de-energize the systems because of the tenant coordinations. They're like, look, if it doesn't look bad, let's keep rolling. So we can't check torque specification. Could have brought insulated tools, but that's not the extent we're going to today. So let's thermal scan that and see what kind of heat we're running. We're not going to have heating and air conditioning loads on right now. It's a very kind of 62 degrees and cloudy, and so we're not catching the system under maximum stress. Pop those LBs off. I'm going to open the face on this and these guys here, and then everything's live. So
keep your hands back
with your fingers. Yeah.
All right.
If you need a kick, we'll buy you coffee, but don't. We've got to keep the disconnects in the on position, and so you'll see as you release latches top and bottom, it can't be opened until you come here and righty-tighty that thing, and then boop, there you go. So there's a mechanical lock there, and what we did is we popped it open, circumvented it. So that is an energized disconnect in the on position, so both line and load are hot. All right, let's pop this open. I'll get this one. Ethan, if you want to put, it looks like a 3/8 maybe, on your impact. Okay, Ethan, let's get your phone in here and we'll start snapping again, left to right, top to bottom. And I will point out certain things that we want to capture specifically
Perfect.
Make sure the bottom of each piece of equipment is captured in the photo because we'll want to just capture the amount of dust and buildup.
Sure.
And I see they've got some, obviously, wood here and a miter saw behind us, so they're routinely cutting in the space, kicking up dust. And that's something they might want to be mindful of. I don't know if this buildup has happened in the last 50 years or in the last 12 months.
Sure.
If you don't have a really clean, really electrician user-friendly method for capturing photo documentation, organizing it by project, and then annotating and marking up those photos, sharing them with the customer, sharing them internally, and communicating across the team, Company Cam is the ticket. It is the easiest software that we have ever implemented in the history of Jefferson Electric. We spent 45 minutes one morning and all 35 of us were up and running. So I've dropped a link to Company Cam in the description. Again, if you're storing everything in text and on your phone and it's scattered about, put it in Company Cam, organize it by project, you'll love yourself. Steps in the process are these. We pull all the covers, we snap up photos of the interior. We're going to use this little guy, comes in a Lightning and USB-C format. It's infrared. It's just a real high quality device, compact, comes with a nice box and carrying case. I'm going to insert that into my phone and then I'm going to screen record exactly what I'm catching so that I'm looking at the interior temperatures of the electrical equipment. That's one of the leading indicators of potential failure. This transformer has a 220 degrees C insulated system for a 150 degrees C scuff, blemish. Rise? So I'm going to check the ampacity because we're running at 148 right now. Let's get a little bit more light in here and we'll just look around a touch more. There's not justification for it running that hot, in my opinion, at this time, unless it was heated up overnight and now it's just coming down to temperature. So this disconnect looks really good. Fuses are incredibly reliable. There's no corrosion, no sign of oxidation. The terminals are clean. I got no problem with a lot of this, but there's one thing that caught my attention, and it is right here. Check that out, that phase A conductor insulation. Whew. It's gotta be 75% of the way through there because buildings move and vibrate over time. And that, my friends, is about to turn into a fireworks show. There's no way I'm gonna touch that by hand with all the potential that's here. See that? Ooh. Unless you're from the northern part of the country, then it's oofda. During an inspection like this, one thing that always gets called to attention is, what's that? Double tap breakers. However, the Square D QO is rated for 2 wires of the same size to be tapped into the same terminal, but opposite sides of the terminal. If you pull up the data sheet on these breakers, you'll see the parameters by which that can be done. So, I got no problem with that. Looks good. Ethan and I are doing electrical inspection today across this complex and all kinds of gear and transformers. Our work lights are running. We're going to put about 2.5 miles on our feet today, and as opposed to rolling out extension cords, we are rolling out the Dabson. Dabson is charging our batteries. Yes, we are charging a battery from a battery. But after about 2 hours, this Hulk is still at 94%. It's a beast, but it's got some smooth rollers. It's our portable workstation, our power source, all in one. I personally really don't like messing with extension cords. No bueno. Thanks, Dabson. We are now inside on the first floor. There's some big distribution equipment. It goes up to all 3 floors. We're opening up disconnects. We'll take more visual inspections, temperature checks. I've got my handy, okay, it's not mine, it's Tim's. Handy little Kershaw here. So I'm gonna pop the latch, stick it in there, depress, and pull. And that's the safety release. Safety release. No, it's a catch. It's not a release. Take a look at that. That is sitting right above the main access door. Access door cannot be opened unless the main disconnect is in the off position or open position. And right there in the seam that would have been, there's like this fiberglass material. Is that an arc shield to prevent the sparks and the arc from flying out in the event of an event?
I'm not going to be able to get this door off.
Okay.
We have a pin with a screwed in bracket on this.
Got it. Okay, it's as good as it gets. They knew that access would be limited while power was on. Is that going to open for us? Rodent activity. Looking for corrosion. Any signs of water infiltration. Any signs of heat. We'll run the thermo scan here soon. Everything seems really crisp and clean. I'm not seeing anything troublesome. This has definitely got useful life left in it, quite a bit. We're here on our lunch break, and come to find out that in the county in which we're working, a whole bunch of grates originated. And actually, Dick Van Dyke himself, the man, the myth, the legend, was born in this very McDonald's. I grew up watching him at Grandma and Grandpa's house as a small child. 7 decades of film industry creation and greatness. Before we tackle this second floor equipment room, I just wanted to tell you a couple important words from our sponsor. What did the octopus say to the octopus when they were going on a date? Let's hold hands and hands and hands and hands and hands. Okay, why do spiders get along so well? Because they always see eye to eye to eye to eye to eye to eye. Okay, seriously, why do you never judge a man before you walk a mile in his shoes? Because then you're a mile away and you got his shoes. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Do you have any?
I've got a few. It's a couple one-liners. Have you heard about the blonde that tried to drown the fish?
No.
It's a one-liner. That's
Oh, okay.
All right. What about the blonde that tried to kill a bird? She threw it off the cliff.
That was 2 lines.
Okay, but anyways, that's pretty much it.
Take a look at that. You know what that rope is for? Surely it's not a non-combustible rope, but it's strain relief on these vertical conductors. That's right, they're passing between floors. They're heavy, they're big. There's a lot of rope to hold a lot of weight. We're up here in room number 2, more big gear, checking it out. We're running the thermal camera as we've been doing visual inspection, looking for wires lying across sharp edges, code violations. It's pretty crisp so far, definitely a professional installation. Just a couple things to note, like no fire and draft stopping between floors. So check it out, up here, look, we've got drywall barriers that are busted wide open, here, all that. Right, that's a fire barrier, in particular, 5/8 drywall between an electrical mechanical room to other parts of the building. And then in addition, between floors, where the cores have been done, up there at the top, no fire draft stopping. Down here at the bottom, no fire draft stopping, just big holes. So if the building catches on fire, the spread of fire is uninhibited and will rage through here, not as calculated, and may not allow suitable time for the occupants to make their escape. That's what that means, because right, all of that is a calculation. How many people and how long does it take those people on average to exit? And how do we suspend the spread of fire? Well, they haven't. That's the worry. We get you what we can. Make sure we put the covers back in the right spots. I like it. We'll thermal check that. Keep going. Now that, my friends, is just a good look. Big power. Hey, you're wearing a Hurley jacket? Is that a Dan Hurley jacket? I didn't realize that they're made for electrical contractors. They got to yank you off the hot if you become energized. That's awesome. Go Huskies. I'm hoping you're learning some things today so that when you're out on sales calls, you notice things like that fire and draft stopping, because contractors, a lot of them, they just put their head down and plow, and they don't have head on a swivel. That's one of the phrases we use at Jefferson Electric is head on a swivel, right? Situational awareness, because when you're the third contractor to walk into a situation and evaluate it, and the customer's standing right there in front of you, and you say, hey, not to alarm you, but a couple things I notice here are, and then you just break it down in layman's terms such that they can understand it and don't feel diminished.
Right.
And you're the first person to recognize it and educate them. That's so powerful. It's so powerful. It changes the whole dynamic. They're like, I've had customers do this, right? They put their head down a little bit and they rub their beard and they're like, that's interesting because You're actually the third person to come out here, and no one said anything about that. I really appreciate you keeping your eyes out. Let me know what else you find. You know, like, because people want safety. Like, this is a massive investment. You want it to be protected. If there's a code, it's there for fire and safety. It's there for the protection of people and property. And so we can't just blow that stuff off. Yep. There's code violations. Yeah, why the heck?
I don't know.
You got plenty of terminals open. Nobody double taps unless, like, everything's so nicely done. And then there's that. Missing fastener and the incorrect fasteners, and which exactly where, like, in the building, 3rd floor, electrical panel 1 on the right, unless it's got a name. And electrical panel 2, top right breaker, like, be real specific. So I transitioned from T-Mobile to Mint Mobile, and I did that about 18 months ago, and I freaking love it. So this is a paid sponsorship, but I transitioned to Mint Mobile long before the sponsors ever reached out. I use it for myself, my wife, my kids. I'm able to have total control right here in the app. Like, one reason Mint Mobile is so freaking cheap is because they've bypassed all the retailers, all the stores, all the sales reps, all the commission payments, and it's simply the best deal. It speaks for itself. It's crazy. It's got a bunch of features. I can look at my plan. I can see exactly where it stands. I can save money, pay ahead. I can look at my Mint Mobile family. I can see what's going on with my wife, my Walsman family. Both my wife and I are on the unlimited plan. And that's just unlimited data, talk, and text. It's mindless. It's easy. And for $15 a month, it's mindless. It's easy. Through the app, you get to pick $15 a month. Sign yourself up. Bring your own phone. Whatever the case is, it's hassle-free. So if you check the description, use my link. I'll get 3 months free from Mint Mobile. Woohoo! $15 a month. That's not a lot of dope. And you'll get it for $15 a month. Did I mention it's only $15 a month for unlimited data, talk, and text? Let's go. So I'm going to ask you, when you look at your cell phone bill every month, what are you paying for? Is it speed, coverage, data, access to 5G, unlimited talk and text, mobile hotspots? And Mint offers all of that for $15 per month. They're built on the nation's largest 5G network. So why should you pay more for that network? I do also appreciate that Mint Mobile, just like its owner, has this, like, just relentless humanity and a sense of humor to it. Like, every time the little mint fox with glasses is talking to me, like, he's cordial, he's quirky. It's very much not corporate, and I appreciate that. We are now solidly on the 3rd floor, and when we're wrapped up here, we'll be heading to the parking garage and hitting some exterior equipment. The rain continues to come down. It has been an absolute deluge here in the Midwest. Cars flooded in low spots on the road. Basements pushing up. I got a call from my friend last night, 9:45 p.m. My wife and I are lying with our heads on our pillows, and he's like, bro, my basement is springing water out of every orifice. It's coming out of the floor drains. It's oozing through the cracks. I have a floor drain that's been sealed up. It's pressing through that. You can see the outline in the concrete on the floor. It has been wet. Do me a favor, just make sure to get that meter number. Get an up close of the meter number itself and identify it as southwest corner parking garage meter or parking garage meter southwest corner. You hear that? That dog is loud. All right, that one's toast. It's got to go. Does your picture of one of them include that pile of debris up there? Because that is something else. And it should be a NEMA 3R panel. That way it's going to be weather tight. And you can see an indoor panel that's got, an indoor panel with just these, entry points. It's not sealed at the top. It's full of debris. And then this one, which is a NEMA 3R, although it is exhibiting corrosion at the top like the other, it's not getting inside, with the exception of this one terminal. But it's an extremely rainy day and it's been real wet, and that's not wet. So I don't know why it's corroded. Man, that's corroded. It's buzzing like a beehive. It's full of dust. The exterior enamel is all eaten through. The interior is full of corrosion. Terminals, mount screws. I think it's got to go. This is gonna get buttoned up and we're gonna head to the next one. Yep. Yep. Okay, other side. Look at all them webs. It's Halloween and the 200 amp disconnect. That's all I get to say. Besides the fact that it's actually a 100 amp disconnect. This is gonna be quick here. Come on, come on. Oh wow, that looks crazy. What is going on? Creatures of the deep. That's nothing. This is nothing. All right, let's pick up the pace here a little bit. That's nothing. We're out. Let me just snap.
Where are the cables snipped?
They were upsized for voltage drop, and then they just snipped them down. That one is what, quadruple tapped? I hope you enjoyed our journey today. That's it for now. My last piece of advice to you is subscribe to Electric Pro Academy for real skills to make real money.